The Optibike Pioneer Allroad. It's their first electric bike with pedal assist, which I'm really excited about, but it still maintains that sort of rugged, powerful, off-road-ish design. It's actually almost kind of like a crossroad bike. That's why they call it the Allroad, because it's got these knobby tires. They're actually kind of hybrid style here, but still pretty grippy, 26-inch. And they've got this suspension fork in the front with lockout, just Shimano XCM. It's a 24-speed bike, so you've got 3 rings in the front, 8 in the back, Shimano Acera, and these nice mechanical disc brakes. So, it's kind of almost feels standard in terms of what you would get with a hardtail mountain bike, but the drive system is what really sets it apart and makes it kind of special, especially in the Optibike lineup. And the price. This bike is, around $3,000. Which is, a lot lower than some of their R series bikes, or even the new Sim, the super integrated motorized bottom bracket bike they've got. So instead of having everything on the mid-drive here, they've actually broken the battery cell out. So that's kind of what differentiates it from the Sim. But it's a really good design. This is a 36-volt, 10.5 amp hour lithium cobalt battery pack with really good energy density. You can take it off and charge it off if you'd like this. Here's a little charging slot. When you're ready to go, you just pop it on like this. It snaps in. It doesn't really rattle or anything when you ride, which is nice. I've seen some of these canister packs kind of get a little jittery. And then you can lock it, right, and then pull the key off. I love that, because then you don't have to, this isn't like jingling around like some bikes. So it's a good design. And the motor is actually a 500-watt planetary geared mid-drive motor. Very, very unique. And 500 watts is quite a bit. And you notice it. It's pretty powerful. It's not the most responsive. And being that this leverages your chain, it does pull on the chain. It really kind of depends on which gear you're in. Just like if you were pedaling without a motor, you get in a hard gear and it's like, and you're straining to get up a big hill. Same kind of thing here, only you have a 500-watt motor helping you. So that's nice. The other thing is when I first got on this and, I gunned it, because it does have a throttle mode, it's sort of a slower start. This is sort of a slow, powerful motor versus a higher, faster motor like on some of the R series bikes from Optibike. And that's just, it's interesting. It's quieter, and it's a little bit lighter, and that's kind of how they're able to position this bike, making it a little bit more affordable, but worth noting. And I think you'll see that when I do the test ride. So the way you control this bike is using this nice little LCD monitor. It's powered off the main battery pack, so you don't really have to worry about batteries or anything. It does not detach, so it's just solidly fixed there. Press this little M button. It pops on. See if you can see that there. So right now we're showing speed. It shows average speed, max speed, odometer, trip distance, time, and speed again, right? So along with your battery capacity remaining. And then essentially what you do is, you can go to 0 pedal assist, and that's just throttle only. You press that and the bike goes. Or 5 levels of pedal assist here, right? So Eco, City, Tour, Power, Boost. And the way that works is at the very lowest end, Eco, that's like 250 watt power out of your motor. And then you just sort of add 50 watts from there. So it's like 300 watts, 350 on Tour, 400 on Power, and then like up to 500 on Boost. So it's kind of, about like that. And you notice, as you go up, the motor definitely kicks in more. And the really cool thing about this bike is that as you pedal, if you're in pedal assist mode, in my time riding it, it's definitely topped the 20 mile per hour mark in pedal assist mode. So this is a bike that'll probably go, 25 miles per hour, kind of a speed pedelec design almost. And that's nice. I would describe this overall as just really smooth and, it's good value for this bike. I love that it's so balanced, because the motor weight is really low right there, and the battery weight is really low. So if you pick the bike up in the middle, in fact, I'll try to do it. If I pick the bike up about the middle, there we go. Both wheels come up at about the same. It's just well balanced. And that nice straight top tube here, you can mount that to like car racks pretty easily, bike racks. It looks just like a normal bike. And, to make it even lighter, you could take that battery off. It's not the lightest weight bike in the world. It's like 49 pounds about. And they're still tweaking some of the motor and battery settings and stuff, but they've got, really, these guys are in it, and they invest a lot of time and energy into building their motors. They're pretty geeky about it, and this is actually the first Optibike that's being built overseas. All the rest of them are built right here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado. So I feel like they have just a really good hands-on, they're a small company and stuff. So anyway, the cool thing about the system that they've got here is that this bike is really easy to service. As you can imagine, you get a flat tire, you take the wheel off just like normal, right? Quick release, no problem. Super fast, super easy. You need to get a tune-up done at a bike shop, no problem. Like, there's really nothing different about this bicycle except for the drive system, which is really isolated, and I love that, right? So it just makes it kind of easier for everyone. And I might have mentioned this, but the shock has a lockout. So if you're, riding around town and you don't want that bob feeling, you just lock it out. So it's really, I think, a thoughtfully designed bike. I'm going to go ahead and hop on and kickstand, power it up. Also, mechanical disc brakes here, front and rear. I'm going to, and the other cool thing is, you can actually use the twist or the trigger throttle on this bike in addition to pedal assist at the same time. So let's say you're pedaling along, you're doing great in a hard gear, and then you stop at a stop sign going up a hill. You can just use that trigger right from there. You don't have to like arrow down to 0, use the throttle, arrow back up to pedal assist. They both work simultaneously, which is a great design. So here we go. I'm gonna trigger throttle there. I'm in sort of an easier gear because I was messing around with the hills a minute ago. I think it's a pretty sophisticated pedelec sensor in there. It's got more sensors, and it starts pretty quickly, and it stops pretty quickly when you stop pedaling. So that's nice. Nice, quiet little thing. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's in kilometers per hour right now, but I'm gonna do a speed test. 12, 17, 28. And it just stopped at about 35 kilometers per hour, and that was in pedal assist mode 5. Well, there you go. That's the Optibike Pioneer Allroad. For the full written review on this bike and other Optibikes, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.